Welcome to Guitar for Vets Guitar Shop. The Guitar Shop is officially open. If you're new to this guitar shop or any other guitar shop, make sure your hands are clean before entering and enter with a smile for the staff. Guitar shops are the guitar player's mecca where you can try out new gear and learn about new gear. Daniel B. here. I'm a G4V Cavart's virtual chapter guitar instructor and your host of this Guitar for Vets Guitar Shop. This event wouldn't be complete without the Guitar for Vets Guitar Shop guitar gurus, and the guitar guru John DeMarco is with us for this event. How's it going up there in the Great White North, the upper part of our country? Winter should be knocking on your doors soon, eh, John?
Yeah, I think a couple weeks from now, but right now, beautiful blue sky and 65 degrees, so you can't hate that.
All right. I don't know. 65 sounds cold to me. But then again, it's been just raining like crazy here in Florida. It's been unusually raining. We have flood advisories, so maybe if I wait long enough, we might have some water flowing through. I'll have my pool inside the house. Michael O'Connell is not with us. He's got a commitment, so he won't be joining us. He's our intellectual guru. Okay, this episode of Guitar Shop, we will talk about a few special effects that, while not the usual essential pedals like chorus or distortion or delay, these pedals have their place on a pedal board or nearby. The effects we'll focus on today are the looper, a voice harmonizer, which also can double as a guitar harmonizer, right, John? And let's see, what else we got? I'll be showing you a wah-wah, and an essential for me is a volume pedal. And why these choices? For the solo performer, a looper is standard, and a voice harmonizer adds to the quality of their show. And guitar guru John DeMarco will be presenting those two pedals and why he uses them in a little bit. And as to the wah-wah and volume pedal, as a lead guitarist as I am, and a lead singer also, these pedals are my left and right hand go-to pedals, especially my volume pedal. If you are or are starting to get into performing, you'll find a volume pedal can make your job a lot easier. And there are a few tricks you can do with them. And the wah-wah pedal can add embellishment to your rhythm or lead depending on the music genre you're into. Well, here we go. We will have a panel discussion at the end and questions and comments. Please bear in mind that our discussions are based on our experienced opinions, skills, and knowledge. Every effort is taken to verify any information we put forth. Any references to brands is for demonstration purposes only. We at the Guitar for Vets Guitar Shop have no affiliations with any of the brands that we are mentioning or use. So on that, I'm going to get you all started. I think we'll start with, let me talk about the volume pedal. I'm going to share this for y'all. Everybody see that all right? Everybody see that? Just thumbs up or something. That's good. Okay. So, a volume pedal is a foot-controlled device typically used by musicians primarily for instruments like electric guitar, keyboard, steel guitar players, pedal, whether they're laptop or pedal steel, love to use volume pedals for volume swells. It looks similar to a volume or to a wah-wah pedal, and let me switch my scene here so that y'all can see that. The pedal that is to the right of the picture, or the left of the picture, that's my volume pedal. Let me get a better even a better picture of that, of my layout I've got going on here. There we go. That's what I'm looking at. And of course, the one that's to the foreground, that's the volume pedal. And then next is the wah-wah pedal. And then after that is my control board. So anyway, the functions of the volume pedal are for dynamic control. And what's great is that you're hands-free. You don't have to be worrying about trying to find your volume knob on your guitar if you want to turn up or down. And that comes into advantage of when you have it in certain positions within your effects board. I usually have it before, if I had a distortion pedal, which I don't. This is a modeling amp I'm using. I'm using a Line 6 150 watt Spider 4. So everything's already in it, so I don't have to worry about where my volume pedal is. But if I was to do with a pedal board, it would be before my distortion. And why you would do that is you're actually making it a gain control at the same time. So when you back off, you're not so apt to have the volume at 100%. And you can control your distortion. You can clean up your guitar a little bit if you wanted to. The volume swells I mentioned also are pretty cool, and I'll be demonstrating a volume pedal. And then if you have it at the end of your effects chain, it acts like a master volume for your entire rig. So it's up to you where you want to do the placement. As again, like I said, if I was to have a pedal board, I would prefer it just before my distortion pedal. And there are two types of volume pedals. And this volume pedal here that you're looking at, let me go to another scene so you can see it a little closer. There it is. You'll see on this one, this is an active volume pedal. There's two knobs. Those two knobs can control where I want the volume to go all the way low, so that the one pot is for setting that level, and then the other one is either, in this case, on this pedal, has a gain. So if you go all the way up with it, it's a gain, or you can restrict it to how loud it will go. And then if you have a passive, it's just a simple, and I have one just below my feet. It doesn't have all the knobs. This one that you're looking at actually takes a battery, or it can put power to it. And there's no external power. Some of them will have a low impedance input, so that you can put a keyboard in, because keyboards work better when you have balanced cables on them. All right, so that's about the function of that. And so let's go to the wah. Now, I'm sure y'all are familiar with Crybaby wah. John, you don't happen to have one right handy, do you?
I did not pull one out of my box, no.
Okay, I forgot to remind you on it. But everybody's seen the Crybaby wah. So a wah-wah pedal, it does exactly what it says. It gives you that wah sound. And how it works is by using a bypass filters in the wah circuitry. And usually when you're toe down, that means all the way forward. It boosts the high frequencies. When you're toe back, heel down, it's boosting the bass frequencies. And then, of course, when you rock it, it gives you that wah effect that you're looking for. The let me get back to it so you can all see me. Okay, so the original wah pedal was created, the effect itself started in about 1920s. And that was when a trumpeter used the bell. You've seen those mutes or bells that they use on trumpets or trombones. And it gave that crying tone to it, so to speak. That was that wah sound that really started it. The modern wah was created by a guy named Brad Plunkett. And yes, I'm looking at notes. I couldn't put all this to memory. And it was around the mid 1960s. And what he did was initially it was a replacement for a switch that was on a Vox amplifier. He worked for an organ. I think it was. I wanted to say. Can't think of that organ right now. The Hammond, but it wasn't Hammond. It was Thomas. There it is. I just didn't see it on the notes. So the first he created that from using the pedal that was on the organ. The volume pedal was on an organ, and put these bypass filter capacitors or whatever into that to make a box. And of course, we all know who used it. It was Jimi Hendrix. He helped to develop that a little bit. The first mass market were sold under the name of Clyde McCoy. And then also later on there was the Vox, and then of course the Crybaby. You use it for soloing, expressive soloing. If you're a rhythm player, you get that chukka chukka wow sound. Shaft, the theme from Shaft comes to mind. And then leaving the pedal, like if you're using it, you can leave it at a certain, bring it down to a certain level, like in between, all the way down and all the way back. And it's got a great tone to it. It's a nasally kind of mid-boosty sound. And of course, some of the famous songs that it was used on was Voodoo Child by Jimi Hendrix, White Room by Cream, if y'all remember that, the theme from Shaft. Y'all know the Waka Waka. Anybody that's younger would know Rage from the Machine, Against the Machines, Bulls on Paradise, that was it. And then, of course, Enter the Sandman by Metallica. So let me give some demonstration here. First, I'll start with the wah-wah. I'll do at least a little bit of I hope it'll come out all right, for Voodoo Child. And let me know if y'all can hear this. Y'all hear that all right? Okay, good thumbs up. Any questions? Stop that. Now,
Hey, Daniel, would it be helpful to see the other camera angle where you're engaging the pedal?
yes, all right, I'll do that.
That way we get to see your cool kicks again.
You like my kicks? Those are those slip-ons. I love them.
We're getting old.
Yeah.
I won't wear a tennis shoe unless it's Velcro, anymore. So,
All right. Well, here we are. Oh, okay. I'm not
so
going
is
in the
it is
shop.
it is it fair to say that as you're pressing and releasing, it's almost like almost like a tremolo or vibrato effect in
No,
addition?
it's actually not that. It's a tone. Consider if you could be able to have the range on a tone knob on your guitar, going from bass, rolling it off and then rolling it up, would be the effect that it would get. Now, there was one thing I forgot to say about the different wah-wah pedals. The Crybaby, the mechanism for a Crybaby, if you look at it, it's got a stem in it with gears, teeth on it, and that drives a gear to the potentiometer that's in the Crybaby. And of course, that potentiometer goes to some different circuitry so it's a more amplified on the tones so it makes it more prevalent. The one that I just used, or that I have, and I love this pedal, is an optical pedal. The one drawback with the Crybaby, and because I use Crybabies for a long time, is you have to practically jump on it, and John could probably attest to that, to turn it on and off. It's got an on-off switch. With the optical, all you have to do is step on it. Now my pedal is designed after Stephen Vai's wah-wah. It's the Bad Horsey 2 is the one that I'm using. It's put out by Morley. It's powered and or battery. Now, the one thing about this is it's a contour wah. So I can actually set the parameters of how far I want it to go as far as the wah is. So I don't have to really pay attention to whether I'm going all the way up or down or where I want to keep it. If I wanted that mid-rangey sound, I could get that very easily by just stepping on it, and the parameter would come on for what I set. And that's about all there is to a wah pedal. Any other questions? Y'all can unmute. No? Okay. All right, so let me talk about this this volume pedal. And this is the cool thing about a volume pedal. Just a minute. You can control your volume if you're when you're performing, and you got to lay back on the guitar or on your volume. The whole band does when people are singing. It's called dynamics. And then when you want to come in for a lead, you like to have something left so that you could get above the band. And so that's what's great about the volume pedal. But also, it can do some pretty great effects. The volumes swell, and I'll demonstrate that right now. Kind of a neat effect, gives you that kind of like a a bowing effect. And then, of course, just the fact that it does, enable you to be able to lay back and just take control or have control over your guitar without getting too far out front or not far enough out front. Now, there are different types of volume pedals. And the particular one you see, again, like I said, has the two knobs. It's the passive or the active. And another thing with some volume pedals is that they also have, and let me try to show this with this pedal. This is my passive one. Okay. And I don't know if you can see it, but this top input is for a tuner. So you can plug your tuner in, back off on the volume, but the tuner's still going to work in your chain if you have it in your chain. A lot of tuners, most tuners that you have in a pedal board usually will cut everything else out. But if you don't have that style, then this one will take the place of that. Especially if you have, like I've had rack-mounted tuners that just shows in the rack, and it's kind of cool. The light goes back and forth, and you center it. You have to isolate it, so that's what was good with this. Also, I used to know guys that used to have strobe tuners, and they performed with them, and it's a bear when you're trying to do if you've got your strobe tuner on plus you're got audio going, because it sometimes picks it up line noise. So anyway, that was a great feature. My pedals that I use, and they're almost indestructible. A lot of people, a lot of performers use them, and they're Ernie balls. They're not expensive. They're built solid. You can drive a tank over them. Of course, every other one, Vox, Dunlops, several other brands. Anybody that really makes guitar effects has a volume pedal. And I think that's the end of my spiel, John. Did I last long enough?
I think so. I think
good. So. Okay, we're at 2:30. Perfect.
All right. Well,
I'm going to let you all hear the words and wisdom of the great Guitar Shop guitar guru, John DeMarco.
Hey, everybody. I'm going to talk about two specific pedals that don't really go together necessarily. But one is a harmony pedal where you can create vocal harmonies. A lot of fun. And then a looper pedal. And just to kind of give you a little introduction like Daniel did, a looper pedal it's a musical device, and it allows you, and it is foot control, by the way, even though I've got these sitting up on my desktop today. You can record a phrase and then have it played over and over as many times as you want, and then you can play with it. And in fact, most loopers will allow you to overdub or put more than one take into a song. And then a vocal harmonizer is, again, a completely different device, and it allows you to create artificial harmonies. So when you're singing by yourself, you can actually harmonize with yourself with the push of a button. And that's a lot of fun too. So to kind of go a little deeper, I've got a couple of illustrations. So when it comes to a looper, there's a lot of them on the market from a hardware standpoint, from a pedal standpoint. This is just a few that I pulled off the web, and you can see the prices there range, anywhere from $80 on up. The Trio, which is over in the right-hand side in the corner there, is interesting in that it introduces both a drum set and a bass, so it's kind of a band in a box. In fact, I think it was designed by the people who used to create the software Band in a Box. Probably the most prevalent in the out there that people buy the most often is the one down here on the right here, the Boss RC, and it's a little over $100. And by the way, when I looked, I found them all the way down to $40 brand new. And of course, there's a huge market out there with used pedals, which is frankly how I usually get my pedals. If we take a little closer look at vocal harmonizers, there's not as many to choose from, although there's a lot of what is on the left-hand side here. This is relatively inexpensive, $35. And it's a software harmonizer. So you kind of need to have a DAW at a minimum. You need to have a computer or a pretty big tablet to use this with. I've actually got this one and use it. And then it turns out that TC Helicon is the one who's the most well known, with a whole bunch of different versions of these harmony boxes, and I want to say there's at least a half a dozen in different price points. And then you will occasionally see something from other companies, Electro Harmonics, and they all have their own kind of unique abilities. And people will also argue, if you read the reviews, about what's more realistic and which is less realistic, that kind of thing. I'll get a little depth with the two pedals that we're going to look at today. So the TC Helicon, again, normally it would be on the floor. I put them up on my desk because I'm going to be twiddling the dials on both of these, a little bit to give you a little bit of a demo on them. But what you'll see here on the left for the Harmony, what they call the Harmony Singer 2, which is the one I own, you'll see that it's got a bunch of little symbols here, and you'll see that in a second, although you can see it in the picture here. This is telling you the different kinds of harmonies that you can create. And this does not create as many harmonies as, say, a software would do. I think software, harmonizers can go up to maybe 8 voices or more, depending on which one you buy. But you'll see that what the little symbols stand for is what is the harmony, and if you know what intervals are, you'll know when I say that it's a high harmony and it's a third above, or it's a fifth above, or for instance, it might be high and low, so you might be a third above and a fourth below. And I'll demonstrate a few of these in a minute so you get a better idea of what that means. Over on the right is pictures of all the inputs and outputs, and the back does look a little crazy. There's a lot going on there, but really all it is a microphone in and a microphone out, a power switch, and then an adapter for a power adapter, and you can either use a individual wall wart, or you can use a battery. Doesn't matter. And then they have a little USB connection, and that's to like update the firmware, that kind of stuff inside the box. And that's actually becoming more common on a lot of the digital pedals, that you can actually go on and interact with the electronics via software. And then it's got an in and an out for your guitar. And that's really important, as we'll demonstrate in a minute, so just bear in mind that the guitar goes through the pedal as well. And then just a real quick look at the circle looper, the Donner circle looper. This is about a $90 or $100 pedal. Again, you can spend more, you can spend less. I use it and mess around with it, quite often just for my own self, and you'll see why in a minute. It gives me a chance to kind of noodle and play around, but it's got quite a few controls, and you'll notice that it's got the 2 stomp buttons on the bottom, but those 2 dials on the top there, which I'll demonstrate more in a minute, those also are clickable, or I wouldn't say stompable, but you can definitely step on them. What you can't do is, unless you've got really dexterous toes, is twiddle the dials, which is why I've got it up on the desktop for us to look at here. So if I get rid of our little cheat sheet here and take a look at the two pedals side by side here, we're going to start with the Harmony Singer. And the first thing I would mention with the Harmony Singer is it is built to be stomped. It is built like a little brick. I think one of the things that you'll find that's really fun with it, and let me just make sure that, yeah, my guitar should be coming through okay. Thumbs up with my guitar. Okay. So first thing is, it is made for sort of singer-songwriter performers, or you know, whatever you want to call them. The first thing I'll point out on the Harmony Singer on the blue box here, this button right here is a magic button. When you enable it, you should hear a couple things change with my voice. The first thing is there should be some compression added, and it should also brighten the sound. So I'll just keep talking, turn it on, and you should hear a subtle difference in my voice with it. And so it's kind of like, you know, an automated thing. You can't really control it, but I definitely leave it on most of the time. This knob on the right here is interesting because it's a sweep, right? It's a you know, infinite sweep. But as I turn it up, you should start to hear a little bit of reverb. And so when I get to there we go. So there's some reverb, and they're calling that a room reverb. So it's a subtle, and you can dial it down or dial it up a little bit. But as you keep going up, it disappears completely again, and then we get to a little bit larger room, and that's coming up pretty soon, pretty soon, pretty soon. Here we go, here we go. There you go. And now it's a little bit bigger room, and again, there's a little sweep there, so you can, you know, less or more a reverb, and then again, it disappears, and then we get down here, and this is what they're calling a hall. And that's just a bigger reverb, a lot of reverb. And I don't use it there very often. I'm usually back in this area here somewhere. And you'll find out why, because I'm a horrible singer, and reverb really is your friend when you're a horrible singer. The knob in the middle is a volume knob for the harmonies. And I've got it all the way up because I really want you guys to hear the harmonies when I start doing them, but you can dial them down so that they're very, very subtle. And the way you turn the harmonies on is so that harmony button is here, and there was all those choices, if you remember rightly, that you could choose from. The interesting thing about the harmonies is what the system really wants is it wants you to be playing the guitar, because it not only listens to your voice, but it listens to the pitches that your guitar is creating, and it builds the harmonies off of that. And so nothing better than to get right to it. So if I don't play the guitar, you can hear my voice is getting kind of weird here, but there's another voice happening. But it's hard to sing in front of your friends, especially when you're kind of deaf in one ear. And then there's a whole bunch of them you can play with. I'll turn it off for a second. This one up here, I think it's this one. This is my fave. I call this the pseudo Crosby, Stills and Nash. Test, 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 test. And you'll notice that it picked up that the guitar was playing a minor chord instead of a major. And so it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of choices there. And I'm hoping that I've piqued your interest into either a pedal or a software version. I'm going to turn my reverb off here at this point, and then we'll move on to the looper pedal. Now, again, normally the looper pedal would be on the floor, so I could punch those buttons with my feet. Things won't line up exactly the way they should with the loop because I won't be able to get my hand away from the guitar fast enough to hit that button, so there might be a little space in there. But the idea is that you're going along and you can record it. Now, one thing you can do is just record just your guitar, and you'll see what happens in the middle here. Is that right now I've got this set on memory slot 1. There are 40 memory slots on this particular looper. Every looper is different. They have more or less memory slots. Each memory slot is 4 minutes long, but you can also overdub. So you could, potentially you could have play a bass, a lead guitar, and a rhythm guitar, for instance, all in one memory slot, as long as it all was under 4 minutes. So just to show you how it works, real quick. So what you heard me there was just kind of noodling around a little bit, but it actually repeats the loop and then it lets you dub again and again. And of course you can also pause it if you want to. And so, a lot of times what people will use this for is redundant chord passages. One of my favorites, and I maybe try to post the link to a YouTube video of a musician who does a version of with an acoustic guitar all along the Watchtower. And as you know, that's really much, depending on what key you're in, that's nothing more than poor rendition, but it's just 3 chords and it lasts for 4 minutes. So what he does is he records that first 3 chords a couple times, and then he does nothing but lead guitar over it and sings, and it saves him from playing those same 3 chords a million times. So that's kind of fun. Now the other thing that this one does, and I'm going to actually clear the memory here, is if I jump over to this side here, and by the way, with these 2 knobs on the top, there are 3 different choices that you can get to by clicking on it. So on the side I'm on now, I'm on the drum side. So I can select the kind of drum beat that I want. I can change the volume of that drum beat, and I can change the beats per minute here, and I'll just demonstrate that real quickly. So this is a blues 6/8 kind of a shuffle. And that's the volume, and I can change that if I wanted to. And then here's the beats per minute. So that's 100 beats per minute. Now I'm up close to 130 beats per minute. And then The other thing I can do is I can select different drum beats. So let's just shut it off because otherwise it gets a little confusing. So they have 10 different blues choices in here. I'll just pick another one at random. And then if I keep going, here's a hip hop. I'll keep going and give you a little taste of each of the different kinds. Here's a jazz in 4/4. We can go a little further here. Here's a Latin. They've got fusion. And then all different kinds of metronomes. Which I never use, I'll be honest with you. Pop. And then rock. So just for the fun of it, I'll go back to metal. I better show a metal for Daniel. Let's do another metal. So, you know, there's a lot of fun there. Oh, disco. I forgot about disco. Don't ever use disco. I never use disco, sorry. I imagine that could really be kind of like a house beat kind of a thing. Funk. And then we're back to our blues. Now, what that is that's 10 different kinds of beats, including the metronome, and 10 different versions of those beats at any BPM that you want. The magic happens when you push this little button here and the little green light goes on. Now you've connected the looper to the drums. And supposedly that helps you end your loop at the right time, etc. Again, I'm not sure that I'll be able to do that since I've got to use my hand to do this. But just to give you an idea of what this might sound like. So basically I'm using it to try to struggle through pentatonics because as opposed to Our good friend Daniel B., I have never played lead guitar in my life. I've always been a strummer. And I think we had something on the pentatonic and the blues a while ago. And so that got me thinking about, if I just play in my basement here using the looper, I might actually get better at it. So I've got to start working on that. In any case, I'll open up for any questions anybody might have. But two really fun pedals as far as I'm concerned.
And so now, you guys, y'all can unmute. I don't know if I need to unmute you, but no.
Thank you both, John and Dan. That was very, very educational.
Thank you, Paul.
Paul?
Thank you.
So I'm sure y'all have questions or comments, so please
John,
feel free. Open your mics and let's talk. It doesn't have to be on what's going on today. It could be whatever you want to talk about for gear. Do you have any questions on gear?
I wanted to ask you, John, the TC Harmony Singer. So in terms of your setup, that box is an XLR to your microphone?
It is, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
Interesting.
You would connect that to your PA system or
Wait,
whatever you're using.
Do they have a version of that with auto-tune?
Yeah, I
For me?
think they do.
They do, yes. I think
Right.
they actually do. It's up around $200, but
Ah.
they've got a version that is specifically for acoustic guitar. I use this one with both my acoustic and my electrics to play around with it. And in either case, it's looking for that guitar input. You'll get the best harmonies because it listens for the chords that you're playing. But yeah,
That looked like a lot of fun.
yeah, I enjoy it. And what I do is I've got a nice clean amp. It's actually a keyboard amp, and it's got 2 channels. So I basically, pass the guitar through, plug it into one channel, and then, plug the vocal into the other. So it's not stereo. It's one speaker, one amp. But yeah, it's a lot of fun.
A lot of acoustic guitar amps have the two inputs with having an XLR input for vocals, which is really handy for the solo performers.
Well, and
or duets even.
Yeah, you can use a dynamic mic. It doesn't have to be a balanced mic necessarily to use an XLR. It's just that's the connection they supply. So I suppose you could get an adapter if you wanted to do a 1/4 inch, but for me, I just use my XLR right to the dynamic mic. I will mention one thing. I've got a really nice condenser mic that I usually use for most things, and for some reason the phantom power on it doesn't power the condenser mic. So I've gone back to using my dynamic mics with it.
How much you want for the Donner?
But the Donner, I think right now you can get them on sale for about $90.
Yeah, I know what's on my Christmas list now.
Yeah,
My
and
wish list.
again, I got to tell you that if I get going and I've got it on the floor where I can punch in and punch out at the right time, it's a lot of fun. You can just build up the parts and have a lot of fun with it. And it does allow you to delete the last take. So that noodling I was doing, if I hated it, well, I did hate it, but if I was noodling and hated it, I could get rid of that but keep my original chord track going. So.
Well, yeah, that's what's kind of cool. I like the fact of how long it holds. The amount of memory that it has. That's pretty cool. Average song is around 3.5 minutes anyway. So.
Oh, right.
But good enough to practice too with.
Hey, Daniel, I have a question on the volume pedal.
Yeah.
So you said there's two types, the active and the passive. So what's the advantage or disadvantage? What's the difference too?
The actives usually have like what I've got in it. They have the the two volume pedals or volume knobs themselves. The settings they're not volume per se. They're limiters that will limit how far you shut off or like if you wanted to back off for just rhythm, it would come back just so far, so you wouldn't have to worry about backing off the pedal all the way.
Okay.
And then you could also set if you just wanted to gain a couple of decibels higher for when you're if you're doing a lead or if you're trying to uh, you know use some dynamics to an attack, you would set your high to a little bit higher or all the way up. And they also have this one particular one that I have has a gain. So there's if you set it up or turn it all the way up, when you get to a certain point and then go down all the way, max it out, it's I think it's like about a 20 decibel boost to it. It's not much. I forgot the specs exactly on this one pedal, but it's not a whole lot. I've used so much gain anyway, so I don't even really notice it. For any bands that I've played in, the material we've covered. I can be quiet if so. But also with the actives, they also have a tuner, but some of them, what was that? There was one I looked at. I'm trying to remember what the other feature was besides the tuner. But it had one other feature, and I'm trying to remember. I think it was a Dunlop, but I'd have to get back to you on that one.
So that question on the tuner, okay? I know a guitar tuner that I use to tune my guitar, but in this context, what is a tuner?
Well, like I said, it would be a tuner that would be on, like if you had a rack-mounted system. There's tuners that you could put into a rack mount, into a rack. You know what a rack is?
No.
Oh,
No.
all right. A rack case is there's different sizes that you can get for rack cases, and if you've ever seen like if you've gone to a concert or seen live bands, you look to the side or by the sound guy and there's usually a bunch of equipment in a cabinet. That's a rack. That's the rack. And
But what does a tuner do? I mean, does it?
it's just like
It certainly
the same
doesn't
thing.
change the. It doesn't change the
No, it's
note.
like your guitar tuner. Just exactly what your guitar tuner does that you've got on the back of your guitar on your headstock.
Okay, so it basically shows you
But it's
if something's out of tune.
they're highly accurate, and they're big. So if you turn around, you have your rack facing you. When you turn around on the back line, then you can see it,
Okay.
and it just silences it.
So I don't know if you guys can, yeah, I think you can see it on mine. This is
Or
my,
there's the floor ones.
yeah, this is a floor tuner, right? And basically so it turns green when it's in tune, it's red when it's not. And it also deadens the sound so that it doesn't come through the amp.
Right.
So, that's really, it's just a different way of tuning. And what you just saw there can be quite ornate, but it's the same thing on a rack. It's that he's talking.
Ornate is the word for it, for sure.
Yeah, it's a little bit of the light show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Leaf, what's wrong with you? Why ain't you asking? Why ain't you talking? You need
Noisy,
to be in on this conversation. Come on, man.
noisy background.
Huh?
Noisy background.
So what do you think? No, don't worry about a noisy background. Go ahead. Any thoughts?
I'm excited to try out some of the wah pedal, some of the wah effects. You're right about that. The aggressive stomp on the one that I have is it's you get to let a little bit of anger out when you step down.
Right? Yeah, yeah. The crybabies have that switch has to be broken in thoroughly. uh, what was I going to say? I like the opticals. There are other opticals. There is also, and that's what I forgot to mention, auto wah. And at Ottawa, you can buy an Ottawa stomp pedal. And it basically, you can set the parameters on an Ottawa so they go as far as you want. You hear Ottawa a lot in a lot of alternative stuff. Uh, it's it goes by the attack that you're giving the notes or the chords. That's how it works.
So I'm dying to ask this question, tongue in cheek. Do you have to go to Canada to buy an Ottawa?
Oh,
I'm glad he did that joke and not me.
bravo! I'll
We're all
keep
thinking
that.
it, weren't we? We were all thinking it.
It was there, yeah.
I'll
Too easy.
keep that on the edit.
Have you guys seen? I haven't experimented with them, but I have seen the programmable pedals, like the foot, like so you could use for volume or for a wah or for
Or an expression pedal.
yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of MIDI boards that have expression pedals. Obviously, on the one you saw of mine, let me bring that up really quick. On my, you see that pedal board that's there. That is it. On that board, it's a volume or a wah. You press down on it, it's a wah. That's also an optical pedal too. Optical being it's got like an electric eye, and they're a lot. It's cleaner sound. You don't have to worry about the gears. You can, with the gear driven ones though, you can slip the gear. You can move the shaft out of the way, turn the potentiometer that's in it, like a click one way or a turn, a half a turn, and not even a half a turn, eighth of a turn one way, eighth of a turn another, and it'll make limits. It'll set limits on how far you want to go. Let me get back to my regular scene here.
Is that kind of like the difference between like a mechanical, like a cable accelerator and a magnetic
Yeah.
one?
Oh,
Yeah.
that was one thing I forgot to mention about the pedals, the volume pedal I have. It actually runs with a string. Yeah, there's a string that wraps around a volume potentiometer with a spring on it to keep tension on the string, and that's how that turns that potentiometer. It's all in the mechanics. The only problem with that, and I'll tell you, I've had to replace it, the strings. That's the drawback, and it's a bear. But I will say that with the Ernie balls, you can get all the parts. You can get the whole front face without having to replace the housing. You can just get it, and they're reasonably priced. You can buy a string kit so you can restring it. It's nylon. It's a really good string. It takes a lot to break it. It's not like it's just cotton.
But like when the flood, like and everything, was it worth to replace the stuff inside, or did you get just a new pedal?
I think I got a new pedal on that one because the potentiometer went under. I lost a couple of amplifiers and some sound equipment and stuff too. I lost one amp I couldn't even replace. It was a Fender Concert 100 that was hot rodded. I bought from a Nashville studio musician. Had a JBL 12-inch, and it was hot rodded, and it was a tube amp, which was great. You know, had great sound. Very versatile amplifier. Any other questions about equipment? Anything, guys?
This is going to sound silly, but where can I find a power cord for my Crybaby?
Online,
I've
or
tried.
your local. If you go to Dunlop itself, that's a Dunlop, right?
I believe, yeah.
Okay. You go to Dunlop itself, and they have accessories, and they have wall warts that are specifically for it. So the voltage, uh, the ground, and everything. You know, the pin that's going in.
Yeah, I've tried buying.
Everything
I've tried buying
matches up.
some on. I've tried buying some online, but they keep sending the. They got the. They keep sending ones that have the female ends when this one takes a male end.
Yeah, they're weird. Yeah, they're the other way. Yeah. Yeah, Dunlop would have it. And you could even look on Amazon. They may have it.
The Amazon the one that keeps sending me the wrong one.
Oh, is it? Yeah, I would go to Dunlop itself.
But this thing, I mean, oh my god, all I do is just sit and rock my foot, and it's just beautiful sound.
Oh, yeah, they're great. I've got no complaints about a Crybaby except the fact you got to stomp the hell out of them to get it to go on and off, unless it's broken in.
This one's broken.
Yeah. A little electronic spray sometimes maybe helps too.
It gets that, but I clean it out pretty regular. I got the squeak stopped, and just that little rock just gives me that sound that I'm looking for.
Yep. Yep. And you can move that shaft, or so you can change that if you wanted to change your limits on. It's a little
Really?
secret. Yeah.
Oh.
You just pull the shaft away
Mm-hmm.
from the gear that's inside, and you can roll it. You can turn it a little bit. So it's wherever you would want it to be set. But do this. Always use like a silver metal marker.
To mark its location beforehand.
So you have, every time you can go back to the original. And I think I did that where I was all the way heel down and marked it.
This goes heel down and toe down.
Right. Now, some of them you can get reversed. There are some wahs that you can get them reversed, and or they have a switch. There's some pretty wild ones I've seen. I don't know what brand that was. And then there's some that instead of going up and down, they'll go side to side.
Yeah, this one goes both heel and toe down.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so it has the switch?
I guess so. So, I mean, you talking about the switch
Yeah, there's
here?
there's a little switch on the inside, right? Was that where it went heel or went toe down, heel down? You could switch it, reverse it.
But I don't know.
Yeah, but they all go toe down and heel down. Yeah.
Okay.
I really can't see.
All I know is I just get a beautiful sound. I play a lot of blues, and
Oh yeah, man, Wawa is great for blues. Absolutely. Look at you, Leaf, using your switch. Good way to wear out your switches, Leaf. John, you got anything else?
No, that's about it. I'll post a couple links to things in the conversation on CavArts, and yeah, right
Oh,
now I'd say no. I'm good.
all right. So let's put this to bed. I'm putting the close sign in the window. The guitar shop is closed. Did you have something to say, Leaf? Oh, I thought you were waving your hands all over. So obtrusive. I love you, Leaf, like a brother. All right, the guitar shop is closed until the next time we meet. On behalf of the Guitar for Vets Guitar Shop staff, we thank you all for joining us. We have some upcoming events. And of course, any other events that I don't mention, just keep your eye on the CavArts website. Our next event will be November 15th, and we've already been talking about it. I think we're going to do Christmas wish list. I think that's what we'll do, John.
Sounds great.
And of course, we'll have our good friend Michael O'Connell back. The Guitar Brigade is coming up next week on the 15th. They'll be doing introduction to guitar techniques. That will be bending and hammer-on, pull-offs, etc. And the Guitar for Vets workbench. John, I'm going to hand this over to you to explain what's going on with the next workbench.
Okay, yeah. Looking forward to it. On Thursday evening, we will be looking a little more in depth on how to maintain your guitar, both electrics and acoustics. We're going to go into how do you actually set up a guitar, and so we'll talk about utilizing the truss rod and getting a better playing, easier playing, more fun playing guitar. We'll talk about some other adjustments you can do with the saddles and the bridge, as well as the nut, and we'll see where it goes from there. We've got a lot to cover. Things about how you might want to set up the guitar differently for different genres, that kind of thing, and maybe even actually save you $100 the next time your guitar needs to be kind of tuned up, as it were. So we're looking forward to seeing you. It'll be Daniel B., myself, Leaf will be there, and so will Matthew Lawrence. So we'll see you all there.
That'll be at 8:30 on the 16th. That's next Thursday. So we got 2 events in a row coming to you next week. Another live event for the aspiring songwriters is the Guitar for Vets Songwriters Series. Part of that series is Boots, Strings, and Song, and that is led by Guitar for Vet instructor Ken Busby. This is going to be, as far as we know, is a monthly event. It's on the first Thursday of each month at 7 o'clock Central, and that's 8 o'clock for those of us that live in the Eastern Time dimension. And I've attended a few of these, and Ken does a great job. He's excellent at leading the attendees. He uses a word prompt to start off or for homework for the next perpetual event, so keep that going. If you don't know what a prompt is for writing, it's a word or a phrase, and you write lyrics containing that prompt, kind of like a muse, an idea. So that's about it for that. So to all, remember, you can pick a guitar for health and happiness. Guitar for Vets is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to providing relief to struggling veterans through the healing power of music and community. Since 2007, Guitar for Vets has served at-risk United States veterans impacted by PTSD and other service-related trauma. Through our unique 10-week structured guitar program, putting the healing power in the hands of our nation's heroes, helping to foster renewal, connection, and community. So on that, I say namaste and all be well.